All right, so we're finding the surface area and volume of pyramids. Similar to a cone, a pyramid has both an altitude height, which goes from the vertex straight down to the center of your base. That's right here. And then it also has a slant height, which goes from your vertex along the side of one of those triangles down to the middle of that triangle. Okay, so understand the difference between your height and your slant height. Like we saw, the surface area formula for a pyramid will be the area of your base, which for us will be a square, plus 1/2 times the perimeter of your base times the slant height. What we are going to just start off with is looking at how to find slant height if you don't have it. It's going to be similar to how you found slant height with a cone, but I want to make sure we look at this specifically with a pyramid. So take a look. We have a square pyramid. You can assume that this base is a square. You are told that the side of that square is 300 feet. You are told that the height of the pyramid is 321. What I want you to notice, take a look up here at the screen. From where the height hits that square base, remember it's right in the middle. So from where it hits to the edge of the pyramid, that is going to be half the distance of the side of your square. So what is this length? 150, okay? So what we can do then, you can see that right triangle we have in the picture. What we can do is then use Pythagorean theorem to find what is essentially the hypotenuse of that right triangle. You get some big numbers here with the 321 and the 150. 150 squared is 22,500. 321 squared is 103,041. We can add those together and then take the square root, rounding to the hundredth. I'm getting about 354.32, and that would be feet. All right, so now what we're going to do, still looking at that same pyramid, now let's go ahead and find the actual surface area. We already found the slant height. We'll use that calculation again. Remember, the capital B means area of the base. If our base is a square with a side length of 300 feet, we would just take 300 times 300, which is, what, 9,000? 90,000. 90,000 would be the area of that pyramid, or excuse me, be the area of the base, plus the 1/2 the perimeter of the base. Again, it's a square. If one side is 300, how do we find the perimeter? Times it by 4. 4 times 300 is 1,200. Times the slant height, we found that 354. From here, just use your calculators. Jackson, how did you find your slant height? Okay. Specifically, like, what were your numbers? Yeah.
So I got 7.1 plus t squared equals c squared, which, and then that equals 56.41 plus 4. And then for the slant height, I got 7.38.
Good. Okay. Now looking to find the surface area, we have the area of the base plus 1/2 times the perimeter of the base times the slant height. Lauren, what was the area of your base?
16.
16. Plus 1/2, what was the perimeter of your base?
16.
Also 16, and then we'll use that 7.38 slant height that Jackson found from here. It's just a matter of using those calculators. Shannon, what was your final surface area?
75.2.
75 point, I have 0.01. What are the rest of you getting? 0.2?
Well, I used 7.4.
Oh, you used 7.4, okay. Yeah. This is why it's important to show your work, because if I'm seeing that you're using 7.4, then your answer, would be fine, as opposed to 7.38. So just make sure that you're showing all of your work for that exact reason, okay? Any questions that I can answer on this, Lauren?
When you found the slant height,
Yes.
how did you get that 56.41?
7.1 squared, is that not right?
It's not 50.41.
Oh, maybe did I mishear you? Maybe. That's 50.41?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions that I can answer for you? Okay. Then what we're going to do is kind of switch gears here and talk about volume. I want you to think back to Monday and recall how a cylinder and a cone related in terms of their volume. We watched that short little video about the chick pouring the water into the cylinder. How many cones did it take to fill up that cylinder? 3. So how did we change the volume formula for a cylinder so that it would apply to a cone? We took 1/3. The same relationship exists between a prism and a pyramid. Okay, as long as they have the same base and height, similar to the cylinder and the cone. So we'll take that volume formula for a prism, which is area of the base times the height, and we'll stick that same 1/3 in front of it. So again, the same relationship that a cylinder and a cone have for their volume, a prism and a pyramid have. Okay. So I do want to point out that, guys, this is the altitude height, not the slant height. So make sure you're using the altitude height from the vertex of the pyramid straight down to the center of your base. So if we're looking at the first example, volume is going to be 1/3 of the area of the base times the height. We can bring down that 1/3. If our base is a square, Bailey, what's the area of that base going to be? It would be 25, and then what's the height of the pyramid? 4, very good. The easiest way, in my opinion, to put this on your calculator is to do 25 times 4, hit enter, then divide that all by 3. We'll round to the hundredths place here. You should be getting 33.33 centimeters cubed. Okay, we have volume is 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Carrie, what's the area of our base?
100,
100, and our height?
12,
12. What's our final volume here?
400 centimeters cubed.
400 centimeters cubed. Good. Okay, so those are just our more straightforward plug and chug. We'll have a little bit more application problems. I am going to have you guys work through these with your tables. Okay? The first one, I do want to point out, the first one, make sure that you are looking at finding the surface area of the solid, not the volume. So think about some things that you need to consider there. Number 2, you are finding the missing height given the volume. And then on the last one, you are going to be matching the part to its measure. Okay? So take a little bit of time with your table to work through those. And actually what I want you to do is when your group is finished, send one person up and I'll check your work. Okay? Let me know what questions you have.